Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on the first day of your weekend for our daily English news edition. As usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, Monday through Saturday, presenting a translated version of today's top news stories. After a plenary session that lasted 14 hours amid tension and debate, the Parliament voted to adopt the 2016 draft budget and the fiscal package with 84 votes in favor and 41 against. The Socialist MPs spoke favorably about the government's projects, and the budget was supported by the MPs from the Socialist Movement for Integration. One of the MPs from the Socialist Party, Mr. Anastas Angeli, said that the budget is going to bring change to the local governments. Mr. Angeli says that the defining characteristic of this budget is fiscal consolidation. The SMI MP Petrit Vassili spoke in favor of the budget as well, saying that it presents solutions to several problems that were present in 2013. On the other side of the issue, the former Prime Minister Sali Berisha was very critical. He referred to the 2016 budget as the budget of ethnic cleansing. The budget includes projected revenue of 416.7 billion lek, expenditures of 452.1 billion lek, and a deficit of 34.4 billion lek. In addition to the 2016 budget, the Parliament also adopted the draft laws that were foreseen in the agenda, some of which had been postponed from the previous session. The controversial bill for an international investigation of the Chez issue was not passed, although the vote was reasonably well divided. It received 52 votes in favor, 63 votes against, and 1 abstaining. The property bill was passed, however, with 79 votes in favor, and 43 MPs voted against it, and none abstained. The ruling coalition had the qualified majority to vote on the changes to the Criminal Code, the Labor Code, and the Family Code. These bills had been postponed from previous sessions because the coalition lacked the necessary quorum of 84 votes to get them passed. In this plenary session, the Family Code was adopted with 86 votes in favor. The Criminal Code received 84 votes, and the Labor Code received 85 votes. Parliament returned the bill on gambling for discussion by the Economic Committee. Lastly, the Parliament voted on 2 members of the Central Election Commission, one proposed by the majority and one proposed by the opposition. Both MPs were sworn into office after receiving the necessary votes. Just a few hours after the Parliament adopted the 2016 draft budget in principle, the Socialist Movement for Integration has commented on the process that will follow this draft. In a media statement, the head of the SMI parliamentary group, Petrit Vassili, said that several important issues need to be reviewed. He said, "Yesterday's vote was a vote for political and economic stability. It is necessary for the Parliament to review the excise tax on domestic beer, because discrimination against locally produced products is a bad policy. We also need to review the grants for the local governments and the investment in the health and education sectors," Mr. Vassili said. After the adoption of the budget and the fiscal package, various economic experts and representatives of the business sector have raised concerns about the economic situation in Albania. They have once again requested the improvement of the business climate and the realization of structural reforms. The former Minister of Finance, Arben Malaj, is among them. He says that a much more cautious approach is needed for predicting revenue and expenditures. He also considers the fight against corruption to be very important. "We need a better balance between revenue growth, spending cuts, the degree of debt reduction, the increase of economic freedom, the reduction of corruption, enhancing the performance of the public administration, and the elimination of barriers to doing business," said Mr. Malaj. The business reps have appealed for a review of the law on tax procedures. They asked for more competitive policies, saying that the penalties included in the law on tax procedures are a very serious concern. A representative of the American Chamber of Commerce, Lawrence Joni, asked for a solution to the property issues as soon as possible. According to Mr. Joni, many investors are leaving the country because of insecurity. Confindustria has also reacted against the new budget, saying that it presents risk to macroeconomic consolidation. A number of small and medium-sized businesses that operate along the Muslim Shuri Street in Tirana closed down their doors for about 2 hours today in a sign of protest against the law on tax procedures. A representative from the Association of Small and Medium Traders, Albert Naso, has issued an appeal to the government to review the law. If nothing changes, he says, their protests will be escalated. In general, the Albanian business sector considers the changes to the law on tax procedures to be far too severe, as well as the changes to the criminal code. They have expressed the fear that these changes will force many businesses into bankruptcy. Prime Minister Rama spoke in the city of Kukës today in continuation of his tour called To Further Clean Albania. He expressed the government's determination to continue with the reforms that they have begun. He responded to some of the criticism from both the majority and the opposition about the increase of poverty in Albania. Rama said that the government has been undertaking reforms that should have been made 20 years ago. According to him, they are absolutely necessary regardless of the political cost that they may have. Prime Minister Rama said, "The fate of the upcoming elections cannot be determined by these reforms. The reforms are creating the Albania that we will see 20 years from now. $150 million are now going to the middle class and to the poor. Before, this money was being taken by the state." The Prime Minister encouraged the enlargement of the Socialist Party, but he warned that the forums should not be viewed as an employment opportunity. He went on, "The Socialist Party organization should not be a place where employment is discussed. It should represent everyone, those who have jobs and those who are unemployed, those who work in private companies and those who have not finished their studies yet. Everyone should feel like they do in their own homes. We need to strengthen the Socialist Party," said Mr. Rama. The Democratic chairman Lulzim Basha has accused Prime Minister Rama of being behind the dismissal of the international investigation of the Ches issue. He made the following statement today. €600 million has been stolen as the result of a corrupt agreement. In a shameful way, the government has decided against an international investigation of the issue. Rama is afraid of the truth. He showed us that he is really behind this affair. Yesterday, you stopped the international investigation with the force of your vote, but you cannot stop the truth. You cannot stop justice or transparency, said Basha. He also commented on the adoption of the amendments to the criminal code, saying that he is against the article that includes prison time for business owners who fail to issue receipts. He went on, "Let us unite on December 8th, just like 25 years ago. I want to tell the students that we will also protest against the law on higher education. I want to tell the farmers that this budget does not help them. Let December 8th be the day that all Albanians unite against Edi Rama and Ilir Meta. Let us take our fate in our own hands and tell the thieves that their time is over," concluded Mr. Basha. The President of Kosovo participated today in the 5th Annual Judicial Conference, where she commented on the political situation in her country. She stated that the dialogue is the only path that should be followed, but it cannot be imposed by force. Kosovo's Prime Minister Isa Mustafa said that the opposition needs to accept the ruling of the Constitutional Court concerning the Brussels agreements. Kosovo is currently in a political deadlock, as the opposition demands the cancellation of the agreement to establish a Serb community and the demarcation agreement with Montenegro. Today, the opposition organized another protest against these agreements. They made it clear that they will continue their protests until the government repeals the agreements, and that arresting their MPs will not stop them. An activity was organized at the Parliament today for the International Day of Volunteerism, and the Assembly Speaker Ilir Meta made the following speech. Today is a very important day because it invites all of us, especially the members of Parliament, to turn our attention to the involvement and participation of each one of us in order for the changes we seek to occur in our communities and in our society. Albania desperately needs this socially conscious and positive dimension, which is based on contributions to a common future. We should all thank the volunteers who find time to help our society and the communities in need, said Mr. Meta. That's the end of our edition for today. We hope you have a great weekend, and please join us again on Monday for more news in English. Thanks and good night.